My name is Yusef and welcome to part 24 of the American Show. Let us begin. So, they had just eaten their breakfast, and now they were just about to get dressed to go to the private jet to get their black and white bathing suits. And and they did get dressed eventually. And then all of a sudden, and then Patrick and Ricky were both driving. Well, Ricky was driving his car, um, and Patrick was riding shotgun to the private jet. They were talking for a while, and they were having, a conversation about life and stuff like that. And then eventually, they do get to the private jet. They get to the private jet. They sit down in their seats, and they go to the store. They go to the business store. They get to the business store, of course. Then they you know pick some businesses out. They had to be black and white, of course. And then they went. They went after they did that. They went into. They went back to the project. Then they were, you know, just they were still hanging out. They were still riding in the project. They were still just hanging out. Eventually, they do get to the beach house at Silver Silver no Silver Boy City actually. Then they were like, then the host of the party, as they were getting out, was like, "Hey, how are ya? Welcome to the party." He was, he was drinking. He gave them both martinis, of course, and everybody was having a good time. He welcomed him. They welcomed. Well, he welcomed them to the house. It was beautiful, of course, and he was like, Patrick was like, Patrick said, "This is a nice house you got there, Joey." John, Johnny, and John was like, "Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, I, I, yeah, I guess it's my wife got it for me. My wife got the house for me. So yeah, welcome to the party." And he was like, "I hope you enjoy it because it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be nuts. And I hope you don't I hope you're not bothered by too much food," he says. And Patrick said, "No, no, I can eat my way. I could eat. No problem, man. No big deal." And so he was like sitting down. So Patrick was sitting down on the couch, watching the party unfold, watching the party unfold, when a couple of females wanted to dance. Of course, he was like, I don't really dance. I mean, I have a girlfriend and I don't really dance." And she says, "Well, don't be silly. It's not that kind of dance. It's just a regular dance, man." She was also wearing back away. She was also wearing a back away business too. Everybody was at the time. And so he was like, "Well, I guess it wouldn't hurt. No problem." And so he did. He danced. He had a good time dancing to the music. Everybody did actually. So he was pooped after a couple minutes of dancing, more dancing, drinking, more dancing. He was tired. And so he and Ricky Matt, was like so tired. Eventually it did get to nighttime, and he was like, they both and then they were like, I'm tired, man. We need to go to bed. Ricky said, and Patrick said, well, look at you, responsible man. He said, yeah, I mean, I have kids, so you know I have kids, right, man? Come on now. You know I have kids, right? You do know that, right? You do too. And he says, I mean, yeah, I am getting a little bit too tired myself. And he was like, I wonder where a woman's on. I wonder where a woman's on. And so he asked the host where the rooms are. And he answered. He escorted them to the rooms. They have, they were both, they were next to each other. They had rooms next to each other, actually. He was like, cool, okay, no problem. And so, eventually, after a few more drinks and after a few more dances, of course, they were they were too tired to speak to each other, but not as tired as Patrick, who managed to call his girlfriend, and he was like, I need to call my girlfriend, and Ricky was like, yeah, but I don't think that's a good idea. And he's like, don't worry about that. It's fine. It's not a big deal. You know? And he's like, okay, cool. So he went to his room. He um he um he stood back. He leaned back into his door, and he called his girlfriend, saying how seeing how she was. He's like, so hey, how are ya? And she says, well, I'm fine. How are you? Well, I'm at a black and white beach party, which is weird. I'm very tired, he says. And she says, okay, well, why are you calling me? And he said, well, I just wanted to talk to you for a small while until I say hi. I just want to say hi. And he says, how are you? And she says, well, I'm fine. Um, I'm working on a new cure for my mom. And he says, yeah, I know. I miss you. Already, he says. And he says, yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. And, and she says, I know. Don't worry. We'll see each other soon. Don't worry. We will see each other soon. And he was like, well, I hope so. And he says, well, she says, yeah, no problem. I hope so too. And then they both kissed over the phone, and they hung up. Then he um he stood up, opened his door, and he opened his door, and then after that, he just left. He just walked. Well, he crawled into his bed and flopped down. It was like a flop, and he fell asleep. To be continued. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Excuse me. And if you did, leave a like, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see. Oh, ring that bell notification to get notified. comment down below who's your favorite character, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.